Christmas Eve came quietly that year, not with laughter or music, not with gifts or warm dinners, but with the low hum of fluorescent lights and the soft shuffle of tired feet. The community center smelled faintly of disinfectant and old coffee. Plastic chairs lined the walls. A small digital screen flickered above the reception desk. Now serving 14. Ethan Cole stood near the entrance, his expensive wool coat folded neatly over his arm. His shoes were polished, untouched by snow. In one hand, he held his phone. In the other, his son's. 7-year-old Noah squeezed his fingers tightly. The lines stretched across the room. Elderly men, tired women, a few children curled up on chairs, half asleep. Everyone held a small white slip of paper with a black number printed on it. Everyone except Ethan. He didn't need one. A volunteer spotted him immediately and smiled, already stepping around the desk. "Mr. Cole, we're ready for you. Right this way." Ethan nodded once. No hosetashchen, no gilt. He was used to shortcuts, used to doors opening before he knocked. As they moved past the line, Noah slowed. He noticed her then. She sat alone near the far wall, beneath a blinking Christmas garland that had lost half its lights. Her coat was too thin for December, sleeves frayed at the cuffs. Brown hair pulled back loosely, strands slipping free around her tired face. In her hands, she held a number. 92. She wasn't watching the screen. She wasn't watching anyone. She was just waiting. Noah tugged on his father's hand. "Dad." Ethan didn't stop walking. "Yes, buddy. Why is she still sitting there?" Ethan glanced briefly, just long enough to register her presence, then looked away. "She's waiting her turn, but they're only on 14. Yes, that's really far." Ethan exhaled, already impatient. "Some people wait a long time, Noah." They reached the door, marked staff only. The volunteer opened it wider. Noah stopped. His grip tightened. "Dad." She's still holding her number. Ethan turned, slightly annoyed now. "Noah, come on." "But what if they forget her?" "They won't." "How do you know?" Ethan paused. "Because people like her were always forgotten. Because the system moved slowly for some and never at all for others. Because that was how the world worked." He didn't say any of that. Instead, he said, "That's enough questions." The door closed behind them. Inside, the hallway was quiet, warm, private, a sharp contrast to the crowded room they'd left behind. Noah didn't speak again, but his eyes stayed fixed on the door. Earlier that morning, the snow had started before sunrise, the kind that falls gently at first, pretending to be harmless. Ethan had watched it from the window of his penthouse, coffee cooling in his hand. The city below looked clean when it snowed, forgiving, like it was hiding something. Noah sat at the kitchen table, coloring. "Is it Christmas today?" he asked. "Yes." "Are we opening presents?" "Later." "Are we seeing Grandma?" Ethan hesitated. "Not this year." Noah nodded, quiet. He didn't ask about his mother. He rarely did. Not anymore. The woman with number 92 had arrived at the community center before dawn, before the volunteers, before the coffee brewed, before the screen turned on. She sat outside on the steps, hands tucked beneath her thighs to keep them warm. When the doors opened, she stood carefully, like someone who had learned not to rush things. At the desk, the volunteer handed her a slip of paper. "Number 92. The woman smiled faintly. "Thank you." She chose the same chair she always did, near the wall, beneath the lights, close enough to see the screen clearly. She folded the number once. Then again, she didn't know why she kept coming. Only that if she didn't, something would be lost forever. The screen changed. Now serving 6. She watched. Back in the private room, Ethan sat across from a coordinator who spoke in calm, rehearsed tones. Donations, funding, year-end numbers, gratitude. Ethan nodded. Sign were indicated. Noah swung his legs beneath the chair. Dad, yes. Can we go back out there? What? Noah shrugged. I forgot something. Ethan checked his watch. We don't have much time. Please. There was something in his son's voice. Not urgency. Not whining. Certainty. Ethan stood. 2 minutes. They stepped back into the main room. The line had barely moved. Now serving 15. The woman was still there. Still holding 92. Her hands trembled slightly now, either from the cold or from something deeper. Noah let go of his father's hand and walked toward her. Ethan froze. Noah. The boy stopped in front of the woman's chair and looked up at her. She noticed him then. Her eyes softened instinctively, the way some people look at children without thinking. Yes, she asked quietly. Noah held up his finger, pointing toward the screen. They didn't call you yet. She smiled, tired but kind. Not yet. Are you tired? A little. Why don't you leave? The question landed gently, without judgment. She looked down at the number in her hands. If I leave, she said softly, they might call me. Noah frowned, but they haven't. She met his eyes. They will. Ethan stepped forward. Noah, that's enough. The woman looked up at him now. Their eyes met. Something flickered across her face. Not recognition. Not yet. Just confusion. Ethan felt a strange tightening in his chest. He didn't know why. He cleared his throat. Come on, son. Noah turned back to her. Good luck, he said seriously. She nodded. Thank you. As they walked away, Noah whispered, barely audible. Dad, Mom used to wait like that. Ethan stopped. The room seemed to dull around him. What did you say? Noah looked up. When she didn't come home. You said she was gone. But Grandma said she just disappeared. Ethan swallowed. She's gone, Noah. Noah shook his head slowly. No. Ethan felt the air leave his lungs. She's just not home yet. Behind them, the screen flickered. Now serving 16. The woman folded her number again. Ethan didn't sleep that night. The city outside his bedroom window glowed softly, lights blurred by falling snow. Cars moved below like distant thoughts he couldn't quite catch. Beside him, Noah slept curled around his old stuffed dog, breathing slow and even. Ethan lay staring at the ceiling. She's just not home yet. The words echoed, unwanted and sharp. He rolled onto his side and reached for his phone, more out of habit than intention. Emails, missed calls, calendar reminders for meetings he no longer cared about. Then, without fully deciding to, he opened an old folder. Archive. Photos loaded slowly. A younger woman smiled back at him from the screen. Softer eyes. Messy hair pulled into a loose knot. A faint scar near her left eyebrow. Barely visible unless the light hit just right. Rachel. She had vanished 6 years ago. Her car was found abandoned near the river. No body. No answers. Just theories, paperwork, and silence. The case had gone cold. Ethan had moved on, or so he told himself. His thumb hovered over the screen. He pulled up a video instead. Rachel sat on the couch. Noah, barely a toddler then, balanced on her lap. She was laughing, off-key, singing softly. "You are my sunshine." Ethan's breath caught. The memory collided violently with the image from the community center. The way the woman held the number, the way she waited, the way her eyes flickered when she looked at him. He shut the phone off abruptly and sat up. This is nothing, he told himself. Coincidence, exhaustion, guilt, but the feeling didn't leave. The next morning, snow covered the city in a clean white lie. Ethan dropped Noah off at school later than usual. He watched through the car window as his son disappeared inside, backpack bouncing against his shoulders. Noah turned once and waved. Ethan raised his hand. Then, without returning to the office, he drove. The community center came into view far sooner than he expected, like it had been waiting for him. Inside, the same fluorescent lights buzzed. Different crowd, different numbers. The screen blinked. Now serving 21. Ethan scanned the room instinctively. She wasn't there. Relief washed over him first. Then something else followed. Disappointment. He approached the reception desk. "Excuse me," he said calmly. "There was a woman here yesterday. Brown hair, thin coat, sat near the wall." The volunteer frowned slightly. "We see a lot of people, sir." She had number 92. Recognition flickered. "Oh, yes. She comes sometimes. Sometimes. She doesn't always stay." Ethan's jaw tightened. Did she get helped? The volunteer hesitated. She left before her number was called. Something in Ethan's chest sank. Did she say why? The volunteer shook her head. "No, she never does." Ethan nodded stiffly and stepped back. Outside, the cold air felt sharper than before. She was sitting on a bus bench 2 blocks away. Ethan almost missed her. She was hunched slightly, hands wrapped around a paper cup. Steam curled upward, mixing with the cold. Her coat looked even thinner in daylight. He stopped several feet away. Didn't speak. Didn't know how. She looked up on her own. Their eyes met again. This time, there was no confusion, only something wary. "Yes?" she asked quietly. Ethan swallowed. "I saw you yesterday." She nodded once. "I remember. My son talked to you. He was polite." Ethan glanced at the cup. "Are you okay?" She almost smiled. People usually don't ask that. "I am asking." She studied him for a long moment. "I'm fine," she said finally. "I just get tired of waiting." "For what?" Her fingers tightened around the cup. "For my turn." Ethan hesitated, then spoke before he could stop himself. "Did you leave because of us?" Her brow furrowed. "What?" "Yesterday, when he went in first." Understanding dawned slowly. "No," she said. "That's just how it goes." Something about the way she said it, calm, practiced, cut deeper than accusation ever could. Ethan took a breath. "My name is Ethan." She didn't offer hers. They stood in silence, snow drifting down between them. "I don't want to scare you," he said. "But do you remember a little boy named Noah?" Her breath hitched, just barely. She looked away. "No," she said too quickly. Ethan felt his pulse quicken. "He's 7 now," he continued gently. "He likes dinosaurs. Hates peas. He sings when he's nervous." Her hands began to shake. "I said I don't remember," she whispered. Ethan stepped back immediately. "I'm sorry," he said. "I shouldn't have." She stood abruptly, cup spilling slightly onto the snow. "I need to go." She turned to leave. "Rachel." The name left his mouth without permission. She froze. Slowly, she turned back. Her eyes were wide now, frightened, searching. How do you know that name? She asked. Ethan's heart thundered. Because it's yours. Silence swallowed the street. Her face crumpled, not in tears, but in something deeper, like a structure finally giving way. I don't. She pressed a hand to her temple. I don't remember that. That's okay, he said quickly. You don't have to. I just... She backed away. No, she said. I can't. And then she ran. That night, Noah sat at the kitchen table, drawing. Ethan watched from the doorway. What are you making? He asked. Noah held up the paper. A woman stood beside a little boy. Both were holding hands. She had brown hair, a thin coat. Is that Mom? Ethan asked softly. Noah nodded. She's cold, he said seriously, but she's still waiting. Ethan felt his throat tighten. Waiting for what? Noah looked up. For us to come back. It took 3 days before Ethan saw her again. 3 days of unanswered questions. 3 days of Noah asking, gently but persistently, did Mom come home yet? Ethan didn't correct him. On the 4th evening, snow began to fall again. Thicker this time. Heavier. The kind that erased footprints almost as soon as they were made. Ethan parked near the old bus terminal on the edge of the city. It wasn't a place he would have noticed before. Not unless he was passing by. Not unless he was looking. She sat beneath the overhang near the closed ticket booth. Same thin coat. Same guarded posture. But no number in her hands this time. He approached slowly, making sure his footsteps were heard. She didn't run. She looked up, tired eyes meeting his. You followed me, she said. Yes. She waited. I brought something, he said. From his pocket, he pulled out a folded piece of paper. A drawing. Noah's. The woman's breath caught as she took it. Her fingers traced the lines. The boy, the woman, their hands touching. That's me, she whispered. Ethan nodded. He knows. Tears welled in her eyes, uninvited and sudden. I don't remember being her, she said. I don't remember being anyone. That's okay. She laughed quietly, brokenly. Is it? Ethan didn't answer right away. Instead, he said, Noah sings when he's scared. Her eyes widened. I used to do that, she whispered. Sing so he wouldn't hear the sirens. The memory slipped out before she could stop it. Her hands flew to her mouth. I didn't mean. It's okay, Ethan said, voice steady though his chest ached. You're remembering. She shook her head. Only pieces. Like shards. Pieces are enough, he said. They always were. Snow gathered in her hair. She shivered. Ethan removed his coat and held it out. She hesitated. I don't deserve that, she said. Yes, he replied softly. You do. She took it. They didn't go home that night. They went somewhere quieter. A small clinic near the river. Warm lights. Calm voices. No pressure. Ethan stayed in the waiting room while she spoke with a doctor. Hours passed. He didn't check his phone once. When she finally emerged, her eyes were red but clearer. They say it's trauma, she told him. Dissociation. My mind protected itself. From what? She swallowed. From losing him. Ethan closed his eyes. She continued. They say memories might come back, or they might not. That's okay, he said again. She looked at him carefully. Why are you being so patient? Ethan thought of the woman with number 92, of waiting rooms, of doors opening for some and staying shut for others. Because I waited too long before, he said. I won't do it again. Noah was asleep when they arrived. Ethan carried him to the couch and tucked the blanket around him. The woman stood in the doorway, trembling. I can't, she whispered. Not yet. Ethan nodded. I'll be here. Noah stirred. His eyes opened slowly. He sat up, and then he saw her. He didn't cry. He didn't run. He simply said, "You came back." She knelt in front of him, hands shaking. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I got lost." Noah considered this carefully. Then he stepped forward and wrapped his arms around her. "It's okay," he said. We waited. Her body collapsed around him. For the first time in years, she cried like someone who was no longer alone. Christmas morning was quiet. No cameras, no guests, no ruse, just snow outside the window. Rachel sat on the floor beside Noah, watching him open a small wooden train set. "You remembered," she said softly to Ethan. He smiled. "You always loved those." She paused. "I did," she said, surprised. Later, she stood by the window, holding a mug with both hands. "I don't know who I'll be tomorrow," she said. Ethan joined her. "Then we'll figure out tomorrow." She looked at him. "You don't owe me this." "I know." She smiled faintly. "Then thank you for choosing it anyway." Outside, the snow kept falling. At the community center, a digital screen flickered. Now serving 92, the chair near the wall was empty. And for the first time in a long while, someone didn't miss their turn.